What's up, everybody? Welcome to Riot TV on the Labrynth Games YouTube channel. Today is day 3 of 5 of our character breakdown barrage, and today we're going to be talking about two saucy characters, Black Bella, the Duchess of Dread, and my other favorite guy, Bamfist. Let's get to it. So the first character we're going to take a look at is probably one of the best characters I think currently in Riot Quest, and that is Black Bella, the Duchess of Dread. Oh yeah. So let's get the character breakdown, talk a little bit about her. Alright, so the Duchess of Dread is a super fast character. She has a speed of 6. Defense 4-5, that's pretty good. Stamina 3, that's normal. Fighter ability that they all have, Charge. When this model spends an action die to run, it gains +1 power die to its melee attack since activation. And Dirty Fighter. If an enemy adjacent to this model spends an action die to run, you can roll 1 power die. If you do, the enemy suffers damage equal to the number of strikes rolled before resolving this run movement, which keeps your guys in check. And Sidestep. If this model is missed by an attack, after the attack is resolved, it can move up to 3 spaces. Dueling Blades. Range of 1, melee. 2 blue, 2 red. Alright. So the Duchess of Dread is super fast. Speed of 6. She can move around that board like lightning. Defense 4-5. That's standard, middle of the ground. She can get hit. She can get crit. And again, we talked about stamina 3. That's fine. So, Charge with her melee being 2 blue, 2 red. That is insane. That means she's thrown 3 red, 2 blue, and a white minimum when she's moving around striking things. Black Bella, how I said, is basically one of the best characters in the game because how hard she can hit. And her speed. She can get to objectives, she can move around the board almost willy-nilly like, and destroy whoever she comes in contact with. Some other things is a Dirty Fighter. Not only can she jump in the middle of a group of people, now she has a way to control your opponent, to make them not move their characters. They pretty much have to risk it for the biscuit if they want to move out of her melee range. Most of the time I won't. I'll stay and I'll fight her toe to toe because there's no way I'm taking a free strike to move out of there. That's the sucky thing. You also have to remember with Dirty Fighter, if you move away, say you've got a wound left and you take that Dirty Fighter hit, your character gets knocked out, they don't get a victory point, so you can use Dirty Fighter against them. I've done that multiple times. I know my character's going to die. I might as well block them out a victory point from it, bring in a new character. So watch out for Dirty Fighters trying to turn that against you, use it against you. But Sidestep is one of the abilities that doesn't come in too often because when people do attack her, she gets hit. But just remember, Sidestep is pretty vicious with her because if you miss, she can then jump within 3 spaces kind of and get in contact with maybe one of your more defensive guy that's been kind of hiding back behind your other characters. So even Sidestep can come in super handy there. But if I had to put Black Bella in the tier system, she's definitely tier 1. If you look at what the other fighters do, like Osiris and Captain Crawtooth, she just is what you want a fighter to be, and excels at everything that it is. So she's definitely the top fighter class currently in the game. If you're not playing her, then you're probably playing just something that's funner, you like better than that, but she's definitely the tier 1 slot that takes the cake. So let's take a look at her gear quick. The Loot Duplicator. Loot Duplicator. So the Loot Duplicator is when this hero raids a treasure chest, roll 2 boost dice and choose 1 as your treasure table result. So it basically just gives you an extra blue die to take the better choice. Loot Duplicator is not bad. In the very first treasure chest, if the heal one pops up so you can heal a character and you need that bad, Loot Duplicator is not bad. I hardly played with this, couldn't quite make my loadouts. With the new treasure deck that dropped out, the second treasure deck, this got a little bit better because some of those treasures have really, really good bonuses that you definitely want to try to get that extra blue die in to get. But Loot Duplicator usually just is one of my first go-to picks. So, but other than that, that was a breakdown for Mrs. Black Bella, the Duchess of Dread, and let's get over to the next character. Alright, so here we have our first tanker. We're going to be talking about Mr. Bamfist himself. Let's go over his stat card quick. Speed 4, that's normal. Defense 3-5, normal. Stamina 3, normal. You've heard these numbers before. Alright, Tinker. It's Tinker ability across all of them. When you equip this model, or a model in your crew adjacent to it with Riot gear, reduce the loot cost by 2 to a minimum of 1. Empower, probably one of the most powerful abilities in the game, I think. When this model performs this action, choose another model in your crew within 2 spaces of it. Return 2 action dice spent by that model to your dice well. Mecha Fist, melee attack of 1, 3 blue. Meh. And Beatback. Beatback is if this model hits an enemy with this attack, after the attack is resolved, you can move that enemy 2 spaces, so as long as the enemy is farther away than where it began from this model. Now, we've kind of talked about how I don't like Beatback yesterday. Just not one of my fun abilities. So we're going to break down Bamfist here. Where I said Empower is one of the most strongest abilities in the game, that comes with a dual-edged sword. So any game that I've been able to plant Bamfist in the middle of the table and uses Empower ability over and over, I've never lost. You just get so much advantage on the action dice table that you eventually grind your opponent down and win. That being said, the rest of Bamfist is super subpar, especially when you look at the Tinkers that have come out since then. I'm not a fan of Beatback. Especially on this guy, the chance of him hitting people is super low. You don't want to beat back other melee guys because then they're just going to charge back in and get their charge dice usually. And he just doesn't bring much else to the table. So when you spawn into a game, if you spawn him into an area where there's no other characters, he loses a ton of value. If you don't get him to the middle of the table super fast to start using those removing action dice from other characters, he loses value. And since most games last 3 or 4 full turns, action turns, if you bring him in late, sometimes it's too late for him to come in and start abusing those Empower ability. So where you play Bamfist, I'd put him at a tier 2, maybe even dropping him to a tier 3, because his Empower is broken and fun, but if people plan for it and target him and kill him, or if he just doesn't set up correctly and the chaos of the game doesn't work for you, he is a very volatile character at that point. So again, I love Bamfist with certain combos. We've talked about Bamfist and Boom Howler getting 2 attacks, remove them, 2 attacks, that's awesome. Bamfist and Leads and Shreds doing the tag along where you can jump on with Leads and then have him carry you along. So, and then you stop, use him to remove counters on Leads and Shreds, he's good to go again. So there's a bunch of good combos again with Bamfist, but you got to pay the piper if you play with Bamfist. Risk-reward system. So, but those are the 2 characters we talked about today. What are your thoughts on Black Bella? Do you think she's the best character in the game to date so far? If so, let me know down below. If not, what character do you think is better? And Bamfist, what are your thoughts on his Empower? Do you think we should see that again in another character in the future? Usable? Or do you think that was too powerful, that putting on a character that just has no other abilities that makes it worthwhile is good? Do you think he's evened out there for being a starter set character? Alright, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you tomorrow on day 4 of day 5 for our character breakdown barrage. As always, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Game on!